Hey guys, welcome to a video how we made On My Mind. This is a track, a collab that I did with Elakto, and it turned out, in my opinion, really good. It's coming out in the future, so you're not going to be able to get it immediately, but you can see how we did it, what's the process like, how we contact the vocalist, mastering, what kind of sounds we used, and yeah, the whole process through this video. So first, let's have a listen how this track actually sounds. I'm gonna play maybe 2 minutes of it, so yeah, let's have a listen, and then I'm gonna go through the structure, sounds, arrangement, and everything.
You're always on my mind, can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fire. You got me up all night, your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end, you keep me hanging on. You're always on my mind, can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fire. You got me up all night, your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end, you keep me hanging on. On my mind, can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fire. You got me up all night, your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end, you keep me hanging on. You're always on my mind, can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fire. You got me up all night, your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end, you keep me hanging on. You're always on my mind.
Okay, so this is just a taste of it, and yeah, you're gonna see through the process what we used in the track, and I hope you like it. So let's talk about the process, and yeah, first of all, yeah, this is gonna be released on 1605 in near future, but yeah. So Elakto is a friend of mine. We work a lot in the studio together. And this is going to be finally a released track of ours. We did few remixes together, which we couldn't license the samples. We did a lot of ideas that never came out, but finally this track is here, ready to release. So a little bit of the thought process, how it went. We wanted to do something that it's let's say a modern peak time techno, which obviously there are some elements of it, but I don't know if you can call this peak time. We want it to be different, and we said, okay, let's infuse it with a tech house, but we don't want to be tech house, so we want to be something in between. Idea was to have some catchy, nice vocals, plus those pumping heavy beats. And yeah, I think I mean, heavy beats in genre like that, heavy beats, and I think we nailed it. So how we actually work together? We speak a lot. We are like those two gossip girls that just can't stop talking, but we talk about music all the time. What should we do? What would be the plan? Blah blah blah. This and that, and yeah, that's just our process. To let you know, we started this track. Let me see. I have some points written down. So basically, in February, actually starts negotiation in talking with a vocalist, and the track is actually finished by 5th of June. So it's a long process. Of course, we didn't spend that much time on the track, but I would say something around, for sure, for 7 days. If we calculate all the time that Elakto spent on the track and the time that I spent on the track, so it's quite long of a process. He actually found the vocalist. Her name is Bianca, and he found her on Threads. Crazy, right? It's hard to find good vocalists, right? Everybody struggles with that, and usually takes ages to get this song right. But we were lucky enough that this didn't take long. It actually, I think maybe first take, one revision or something, and the vocal line was done. The vocalist made a really good job. We were super happy, so we didn't change that. Usually, you can go to services like Fiverr. We use it. I use it. Let's say that I work with 5 vocalists to get one vocal proper, so it takes time. You lose money, hiring them, but hey, that's just the part of the process. It is what it is. If you want to have original vocals, not splice vocals, then this is the process. Or you hire like a high-end vocalist if they're willing to work with you. Maybe that experience is going to be better for you than hiring it on Fiverr, where you can get even like a low-cost vocalist. But I guess not always, but sometimes the cost reflects the quality of the vocals. Again, not always. So yeah, that was the idea. Big time new infusion with tech house. Let me know if you think that we nailed that combination. I think we did. Okay, because now we're talking about the vocals. At the beginning, vocal actually was placed completely different in time. I changed it in a different location. I think it actually now sounds much better. There were previous versions to this track, which I can actually play to you, and maybe by that you can hear the evolution of the ideas, which sounded different. Maybe some of you will actually, you will like it better than the version that's finished. But yeah, that's a personal taste. We didn't. But I just want to show you that that maybe a track that you have on a laptop or on your computer can turn into something really big over time. Maybe you can remake it or bring it up to life after half a year or a year or something, and it would get a different shape, and that idea would be not left on a disc in vain. So let's have a listen what kind of version we had before. Versions, I'm going to play 2 versions before this track actually was made as it is. So let's have a listen. Completely different, right? Like it's another track. I guess with all the time and changing the sounds that we did, it is a different track. But I remember because Elakto did this version this idea, and I like the melody of the trumpet, but like combining with the melodies melody as it is, it was just a little bit too commercial. I said, no, that's not the sound that we're looking for. So let's have a listen to the second idea. Here you can already hear the bass that we used in then the future original. Yeah, in my opinion, these are completely two different, actually three different tracks, But again, I wanted to show you that everything doesn't happen in the first take. It takes time sometimes. It takes a lot of version. It takes two people to work on it, and then the call-up is just right. And so let's have a listen again to remind you how it sounds now.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's right. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head. Like a song I can't forget. Don't want this night to end. You keep me hanging on. I'm stuck here and it's right. Your voice inside. Don't want this night to end.
Okay, so now it's time to go and hear sound by sound. So, of course, let's start with a kick. It sounds like this. Nice punchy kick. But the funny story, the interesting thing it is, this is actually a kick that Elakto made after I did the mastering. Not the last one, but the one before that I thought it's the last one. And we sent this track to few DJs. Some of them even played it, and then we changed the kick. Is this a mistake? No. Yes. No. Yes. You judge it. As I told you before, we were doing this track for a few months. We left it completely in a bunker, let's say, without listening for, let's say, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then I came, I did the last touches. And still, by all these things, something didn't sound right. So I came back. Elakto gave me the kick that he liked it. I loved it. Put it in a track, mixed it up with other elements, and it sounded proper. What I'm saying is, like, I work with a lot of cool artists around the world, producers, and even them, they're doing the same exact thing. They finish the track and they think it's finished. You're actually sending maybe to another person to master it, they send it back, you play it for 2 weeks, and then you change stuff. It's just the way it is. It's the process. Don't stress over it. If you need to change a kick at the end, change it. If that means putting extra work into it, no problem, do it, because it's just gonna make your track better. So this was the last kick, and then to all these layers here. Yeah, this was the kick before. So basically, Elakto, if I remember correctly, sent me like three layers, and then I actually add another layer because there was not enough of a sub in a kick, and I thought, oh, this is really cool. I left it on purpose in arrangement, so it's gonna be a reminder for me that even me sending him kick, he sends me kicks back. Me twisting everything, changing, it's still not right. And at the end, we obviously ended up with the different kick right at the end. And for my taste, basically the kick that we had before in solo sounds better, right? I mean, at least I think so. Listen, compare it. Maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe not, but this is my opinion. But listen. It's cleaner, more subby. Just like in solo, it sounds nicer. What I wanted to say that again, if you have a kick that sounds good in a solo, doesn't mean that it's gonna sound good in a production too. And Elakto proved it, like that. This is how I just said it. It's you always need to find a kick in terms of what's gonna stick to the track, what's the right frequencies in the track, and I guess the solo one kick later on, like at the last point of the production, just sounds better. Okay, so let's have a listen to sub. This almost sounds like a guitar, like because of those like artifacts. Maybe not artifacts, like those some frequencies is there, but they kind of sound like some artifacts. They're not. It gives a charm in my opinion. But yeah, okay, let's have a listen. The other layers. All together. They sound distorted, right? I mean, when you listen it solo, but that's on purpose. That's the characteristics of the sound. Yeah, it's just the way they sound, and I think they sound very good. Let's see what it is on the channels and auxiliaries. So on sub 1, there's a boost on G2. That I guess it's 1 octave higher than the lower bass. Why? Because it gives a little bit more power to it. That's the simplest explanation. Listen. Is it a lot? No, but all these small details can make a difference. Okay, so the next channel is the second bass. Here you go. So this donk bass, FM bass, call it what you want, has a high cut, so it sounds a little bit more darkish in terms of tone. And there is a stereo effect on it, which like, the bass is on stereo. Well, yeah, it's in the red zone a little bit, not too much. What I'm saying is, look at the meter over here. It still sounds cool. It's just kind of it's reminding you that you are close to a stereo, which would go too far in the stereo mode. So a lot of times I choose to put one layer of the bass into stereo mode. Usually it's not like really low. Obviously we all know reason why. So it's still mono compatible as much as it is as possible. I'm not saying that this is completely mono compatible, but it's there on the last level where it still sounds cool. I find stereo basses which are not on sub. I'm not talking about sub. I'm talking about, let's say, mid mid, let's say high lows or low mids. I love those sounds to be in a stereo, because it's just it widens the picture. It's more exciting. And when I have layers, I do that on at least to one layer. It just sounds cool, in my opinion. Yeah, and the last part of the bass. A little bit of phase rotation, so it actually aligns better with other basses. And this EQ is here, apparently here for absolutely nothing. So who knows? Maybe I usually put EQ if I wanna, if I wanna put the level down in terms of oscilloscope, so it doesn't go over -6 dBs later on in gain staging level. So let's see what I did with basses at the end at the auxiliary channel. So a little compression. I love Neutron 5 compressor. It has one single reason. It's modern. There are two reasons. It's modern. The other thing is it has auto gain. I am I had enough of the plugins which don't do auto gain, because all of us have been tricked so many times by the volume. There are other plugins that have these functions too. I am stick to Neutron 5. I love it. Quick. I can compare it with this bypass quickly. I can change polarity, stuff like that, and it's actually quite cool, quite easy to use, fast. For example, all in one plugin. So this is why I'm using that on a lot of things, on the vocals, on basically on many things lately. It's as you see, it's not much of a compression, but a little bit. It's a half of dB. People would say it's the glue magic. Okay, the next thing that I'm using here is 150 boost. Why? Because I think this is what this track needs. And on the end, I have a Spectra. Spectra is EQ. I mean, it's not an EQ. EQ-like distortion. So in terms of we are kind of used to EQs. We're visualizing like that. So you have these boosts, and yeah, it's distortion. Is it better than Saturn? I don't think so. Is it different? Maybe a little bit, but visual representation of this distortion, it's really cool. And I'm actually distorting at the same time, getting a little bit more harmonics because of that. And yeah, that's just the way I loved it here. Okay, so this is the bass. So next are the hi-hats. Let's go and listen to them and see what we chose. This is a nice hat. You could agree. You could argue it's a shaker. Then we have this nice drum loop. What do we have here? Well, this is a quite dirty loop, I would say. Another loop. All of them.
You're always on my mind.
Okay, so let's go one by one sound. EQ, just for the filtering purposes later on. So I'm kind of closing down, filtering down the with an EQ. Hi-hats actually. Oscilloscope, so I'm not gonna go over. A visual presentation, so my levels are not running too hot. So drum shaper on this loop, minus 33 in sustain. So that means that transients are coming in heavier. So that harshness is being removed away out of that loop. Yeah, it sounds more attack here, right? Then the next one. This loop is actually getting extra dirtiness to the track. And then we have the, I think it's already the third loop, right? You're gonna see a lot of oscilloscopes because I always go through every single channel, or at least I think I go through every single channel. Maybe I sometimes I forget a channel or two. Maybe, I don't know. In this track, we'll see. It might be all good, but obviously I try to check all the levels all the time. When do I do that? Actually, this is already when the track is actually done. When the track is already arranged. So this is a stage of the first stage of the mixing. I do sometimes clean sounds already before in the stage of making the music, so the mix starts already while I'm doing the track. But most of the times I go through oscilloscope just before mixing because I want to have my levels right. So I would go through every single channel and I'm gonna would look like okay, as you see there's like a small spike, but that shouldn't be such a big problem because I am sure that I had some a drum shaper over here who probably solved this problem. But if you want to be really precise, this how much is it? 0. Who knows how much of a dB should go lowering the volume there. But yeah, oscilloscopes comes just before start mixing, so I put levels in right. So let's have a listen to again to all of the sounds, and then I'm gonna go through Synth AUX channel. So here we have a little bit of mojo. EQ probably for automation purposes, or maybe for absolutely nothing. And here is a maximizer machine that I lately use on mastering too. It sounds really cool. Yeah, it's a maximizer. As you see, you have an upward compression, soft clip, transient, stereo things, like a lot of stuff. But in most of the cases, I actually use the character. It depends of like this is the clipping, fast and loud, upward compression and soft clipping plus the gain option, and then I get a really cool sound out of it. That's the usual thing that I use. And the low cut, just because of the processing and all the stuff, and to be 100% sure that actually it's gonna work good. So I'm not gonna have unwanted frequencies down there. Why? Because I mean, how many times you get hi-hats with low frequencies? Not much, but from time to time I'm thinking like how the hell there are some things at 20-30 hertz. They do appear from time to time. Let's have a listen and see. Maybe there's a case like that here. I'm not sure. No, it's not. So that might be as well for automation later on, but most of the times it's for just to be sure on low frequencies. Next thing, clap. There are two of them, one short and a tacky. The other one has a little bit different color. It's a nice combination, yeah, between the one that is missing transients. The transients are completely destroyed, but the first one has. They have two different colors, and this is why they work really well together. So there's a stereo enhancer on a clap. By now you see that Space Control it's my go-to stereo imager plugin, and I love it. It has all these functions. You can choose different frequencies, how you can affect even the EQs, boosting frequencies, plus stereo, different shapes, different kinds of stereo widths, plus then you have a limiter, a phase limitation, amazing thing. If you don't have it, I mean, I'm sure you do. It's the one to buy. By the way, Space Control Volume 2 is out. I'm sure it's good. I just didn't bought it yet. Okay, so the second clap, not much on it. As well, a little bit of a high cut, but mostly for the automation purposes. A little bit of the leveling, and then we can see what I have used on the auxiliary. I love this Chroma Glow. It's a plugin, stock plugin in Logic. Why do I use this saturator, this distortion? Because it has a new interface. It looks different, and it's inspiring for me. Do I think that it's better of the Saturn? No, I don't think so. But does it sound good? It sounds very good. Why then I don't use Saturn? Just because from time to time I want to have a different look of a plugin. How it looks, how you can adjust knobs. I need fresh things to be inspiring, and then my brain is kind of tricked, like, it's a new thing, it must be better. Let's have a listen. And I'm sure the developer did something really cool in the background, but a lot of times I combine stuff that it sounds good and it's new just because of the inspiration, and to trick my brain that there must be some new algorithm in the background, and therefore it must sound better. But anyway, it does sound good. Okay, then we have an EQ. Why do I cut claps as I cut them? Claps can be actually tricky or dangerous for the kick. Why? Especially if you use claps which have some low frequencies, can interfere with the kick. Why? Because kick goes dum dum dum, and clap, when you use a clap you usually use it together with a kick, maybe on every second kick or whatever. And then when you distort the clap and distort the compress the clap and all the stuff, maybe some unwanted frequencies, low frequencies can come out, and it can interfere with kick. So this is why I will do low cuts in most of the cases, just because I don't want that something in the mastering stage comes out with all the compression, with all the like sounds being layered after another. So that's why I would do that. Then again, Neutron 5. Again, I love it because I can check the bypass, change the polarity quickly, all this stuff. So this is my plugin, my go-to plugin lately. User-friendly for me, yeah, with all these features like auto gain, bypass, polarity, all these things. So yeah, I do like it, and it actually sounds good. And again, a little bit of the stereo enhancement. Okay, so now let's go to steps, or I usually call them ear candies. I love them. They are always part of production. They are filling empty spaces, usually filling empty spaces where the vocal has a pause or where the synth line has a pause. I usually fill those things. It's kind of call and response, or actually gives an extra groove to the track. So you will hear in the last, I don't know how many years, you will always hear this sound with the music that I make or that we make. Yeah, I mean these steps, ear candies are and part of the modern techno peak time production for last I would say 7-8 years, and I think they are actually already an essential part. Are they used too much? Maybe, but we kind of are used to it, and if you don't have them, it's kind of empty, I would say. So yeah, let's have a listen. First one. It's a serum step. Then low cut it. So the steps are powerful sounds, and again, especially because it's in delay and stuff like that, it can fear in other sounds, and that's why I choose to low cut them. Do it need to be cutted all the time? No, but just to be sure, in this case, I did it. Again, a little bit of neutron. So as you see, take and release. So it's actually compressing really fast. It's compressing a lot of transient. Glow, a little bit of distortion over there. Channel EQ, maybe for the for the low cut automation. Okay, and here we have a clipper finally. Yeah, these sounds, as you can hear, are very sharp. That's the word. They are sharp, and they can get really annoying really fast. With clip to zero, or any other clipper which is good, you can actually remove those transients which can be really annoying in a production. This is why I used it in this case. So calm me down. I gained some level because of that for sure. And as well with clippers, obviously you need to be really careful because they introduce distortion. In this case, in this sharp sound, which already by the nature sounds a little bit distorted, it's actually really nice. But if you would introduce clipping to sounds like sine wave or something, you would get a nasty distortion, which you would probably want to avoid. You can use clippers on the mastering. You can use clippers on a lot of things, but they will especially sound good in aggressive sounds like it is now. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't use the clipper in more softer sounds, but then I would I would usually mask that distortion that it introduces with EQ or filter. Okay, so what is there? Kickstart 2 just for the sidechain, and oscilloscope for the level. So let's actually, I'm gonna bypass all the sounds and let's have a listen how it sounds originally and then processed. You see how much of a bass there is, just too much. That would definitely interfere with the bass, and definitely with the bass, with the pumping bass line, with the kick, with everything. So yeah, it needs to be processed heavily. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Now here is a clear example of how to exaggerate with the compression. But here it's in the service of sound design. Of course, it's a personal choice. Do you like it or not? It's up to you. I like it, and this is why I squashed. I wanted to bring all the sounds that were in. I mean, all the frequencies that were in the background, reverb, and all these things to the face. I think it actually helps the aesthetic of the track, aesthetic of that step in a group of other ear candies. So you have a kickstart pumping effect, on low cut, clipper, and stereo enhancer. Let's have a listen how it sounds without. And you know what? Actually, I could remove these plugins as well, but they're part of aux. Okay, with FXs. Okay, next sound. So next one has a little bit of tremolo, a little bit of, yeah, obviously low cut, and a boost of around 2K. Aurora. Aurora is actually interesting reverb. Why do I say that? Is the best sounding reverb on the market? No, it's not. But it's actually, again, quite handy in terms of ducking effect. I love plugins where you can find all in one. Can you do this with the different techniques? Obviously, just send the sound to auxiliary, to aux, open reverb, send sidechain signal from a dry synth to reverb, and and then the reverb is gonna have a pumping effect by the original sound. It's mostly almost the same. But what I love to hear, you have width, tone. You can already do EQing, and obviously you can adjust of how much ducking you need. So is this a new revolutionary plugin? No, but it's a plugin that it's very useful in terms of being fast, everything in one, not opening again and again and again and again. So if you by any chance sit on $100 too much, and I don't know how much it costs, but then you're willing to spend it, do it. If not, then save money and just do a little bit more complicated routing by yourself. Very easy. clipper, and at the end a little bit of stereo enhancer. Okay, this is the next step. Ear candy, nice one. I used Aurora, I used Chroma Glow, EQ, clip, the clip to zero, ducking effect, pumping effect, plus again a little bit of stereo. With the next one, it's like yeah, again step percussion per se, plastic sounding. I like it. It does the job with others. Again, I'm not going to go through every single channel because it's the same similar technique with the others. A little bit of reverb, EQ, low cut, compression, pumping, and a space, actually a stereo enhancer. Next one. Again and again and again and again, similar sounds, steps, percussions, one shots, and again, Neutron, a little bit of tremolo, Aurora as a reverb, kickstart, clip to zero, and oscilloscope for the level. Everything goes then to space control. And now you might ask yourself why I used on almost every single sound stereo enhancer, and then again because I didn't use it on some else's, and I decided, okay, it still needs a little bit more of a stereo image overall, and I used it again. I could go back and put more to every single sound. It would took me much more time. It was just made a decision in a split second, automatically, not thinking what should I do. Yeah, introduce a little bit more stereo width to that sounds, and I used space control. And then I did, as you see, a maximizer plugin that I like a lot lately. Yeah, so these are nice additions to the groove, to the sound, to make it much more interesting, and that's the job of it. Okay. What do we have here?
Don't want this not to end.
Ear steps. I invented new word. Ear steps. Okay. So now, guys, here are the vocals. And the vocals, I'm not going to talk about in details. Why? Because you already have another modules for vocals, I think volume 1 to 4, something like that, where I actually spoke about this vocal, how it's done. So let's quickly remind ourselves how do they sound. And I'm going to move on.
Behind, I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end. You keep me hanging on. You're always on my mind. Can't seem to leave it in. You're always on my mind. Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end. You keep me hanging.
Yeah, vocals are layered, heavily vocalized, vocoderized. There are layers of, as you can hear, there are layers of like almost like a female, of a male vocalist, which is actually the original Bianca female voice, lowered down for an octave, then her harmonies and all this stuff. Anyway, check the models of the Vox volume 1, 2, 3, or 5, 4, and one of them it's how the vocals are processed in this track. Bada-bum. So then what else do we have here? Let's have a listen. Okay, the hook variation, this is still hook variation. Okay, then the risers and all the one thing I need to actually talk about is a synth. That's actually really interesting. The synth that we used later on. Yeah, so in this part, this synth that you hear,
I'm stuck here and it's your voice is up.
this actually isn't synth. This is a vocal through vocoder. So actually, remember previous versions that I showed you in the beginning, where Elakto did all these trumpets and stuff like that. They were sounding really good, but a little bit commercial. And I had this idea about a synth vocoder for a while. And one thing is to have an idea, and one thing is to actually then execute it. And actually, Elakto did this. I said, okay, let's go through. I remember we were online and we were talking about what we should do, how we should approach it. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it with a vocoder. And said, okay, what kind of vocoder we should use. And then we opened waves. What's ovo? How it's called? Ovo something. And there we were. I was going through the presets, and he immediately found a preset that he loved, and he actually used and made this melody. So it's an interesting approach to make a call and response from vocal to vocoder. And yeah, it's actually sounds amazing. It sounds a little bit different, and yeah, that's I love it. Okay, so then we have one of the last parts of the song. It's the FXs. We all know about it. I'm not gonna lose too much time. Risers, crashes, sub basses, slamming door FXs, and stuff like that. It's just to make transitions in a track more professional and then more interesting. It's essential part of any a modern peak time techno, or let's say tech house, or let's say more commercial techno sub genres. Obviously, this stuff is well avoided in raw genres because it's completely different. But again, in more commercial sounding stuff like it's this one, it's one of the really nice supporting elements to the track. Let's have a listen. So synths, rattles, delays, reverbs, everything.
You're always on my mind, can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fine. You got me up all night, your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end, you keep me hanging on. You're always on my mind, can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fine. You got me up.
Yeah, all these FXs are in service of building attention, adding stuff to the track, anticipation, like filling the gaps, doing the atmosphere, all this stuff. Nothing, no rocket science. But for me, when I hear a track which has a nice FXs like this, reverbs in backwards, reverbs. Vocals, delays going away, risers, pitching sounds, rattles, things like that. That means that someone spent a lot of time at the production. I love those stuff. In terms of producer, that means that somebody spent a lot of time and focus on these sounds. And you think that it's really easy, but it takes let's say another 5 hours to find all these sounds, to process them, place them right, all these things. Yeah, again, details, 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 and they are very, very important.
All night, your voice, you're always on my mind. I'm stuck here and it's fine. You're always on my mind. Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fine. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head. Like a song I can't.
Another thing that I need to talk about is yeah, this project was actually one of those forgotten projects. Like it was, we were working on it, different versions, blah blah blah, and it just didn't sound right. And we said, okay, let's leave it on a hard disk. And then I don't know if maybe I think Elakto went through all the ideas that we were working on, and he said, wow, this is really cool. He sent it to me. Obviously, you heard those versions, and then I found something really interesting in those demos, and I was like, oh, let's go. And then again, talking. Very important part when you collaborate. Talk about the small details. Everything counts. So yeah, everything it's in place. So yeah, it took us a while to get this right, and now I'm super happy. In a lot of times in my music, I forget about projects, but it happened from time to time when I turn on an old project that I found it interesting, and I go and remixing. So think about it, like when you have a track that it's actually maybe not appealing at that time, and you think, there's nothing's gonna be with that track, don't erase it. I mean, me myself, I erased hundreds of tracks, no exaggerating. Or let's say I erased a lot of 16 bars, like already made super ideas. Just I don't know why, I just did it. But leave it on a desktop, maybe on an external hard drive, and then go through it, and maybe you're gonna find some gems to work on it. Okay. So arrangement is pretty standard. It's how we like to do our stuff. It always has this kind of an intro part of a mixing. Then around the minute mark, there's this small break where you already introduce some different sounds, maybe a vocal. Then it's a first drop, which is like an intro drop. I don't know how to call it. It's not a powerful. And then obviously we do a break, and sometimes even a pre-drop, and then the drop comes where you need to show all the sounds. So don't use the sounds, all the sounds which you have in the main drop. Don't use them in a beginning of your track, or let's say in first 2 minutes, because you need to have something extra, some surprise for the drop. That's for me the most important thing. If the second drop, the main drop, is going to be the same as the small drop, then it's not going to be interested in most of the cases. Obviously, there are tracks that are catchy and amazing, and maybe if you do like same drop, why not? I can point out here my track Amnesiac. It was done that way. So the main drop is also a first drop. So in terms of A, B, and C parts, the Amnesiac is A, break, B, C, and then again break, and it actually repeats itself. So, but these are different cases in productions lately. This approach is done. So you introduce some stuff in a first small break, then in a first smaller drop, but you need to have some surprises for main drop. And for example, here the surprise and a different thing is that vocoder synth that I just talked about. This is what we were saving for later. So let's have a listen.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here.
As you see, we are introducing the vocal here.
Your voice is
And the drop is gonna be dry, just with a kick, bass, and vocal.
me hanging on. You're always on my mind. Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's fine. You got me.
Yeah, really. By the way, check the Vox series where I go to all these details with vocals, because like you have like all this small part of the vocals which are flanged and harmonies and stuff like that. It's actually a video. It's on its own. Very interesting. But yeah.
This not to end. Yeah. Don't want this not to end. You keep me hanging on. Always on my mind. Can't seem to leave. I'm stuck here and it's
You see?
I'm stuck here and it's your voice is out.
So yeah, this part where it's a call and response with a synth slash vocoder, it's new to the track. It was never introduced before, so this is where this surprise happens. It's not a big surprise, but still a surprise, a nice addition to it. Another thing that I want to talk about, 92 channels. For a lot of you will say, wow, 92 channels, and track doesn't have many sounds when you listen it to alone. And can you do a good track with 34 channels? 30, 40 channels? Yeah, for sure. Why not? You know, it's all about idea. There has been many great, amazing tracks done only with 30 channels. But remember, there are many really complicated tracks evolving through times with probably 200 channels, which sounding really cool. So don't go and listen to producer which was gonna say, yeah, less channels. Why? For him, that's his way doing it. He loves it that way. That's his way to do it. Find your own way. You know, maybe 50 is for you, maybe 70 is for you, maybe 150. I don't care. It's your music. You should decide how many channels it is. But channels usually, in most of the cases, they introduce complexity, in most of the cases, complexity in arrangement, in sounds which are coming in and out. So more sounds usually means more happening. Does it mean better quality? No. It just means that, but if somebody is capable to mix really good a lot of channels, combining with a lot of different sounds, FXs and stuff, in my opinion, that is more interesting in long term. But have I played minimal tracks? Sure, a lot of them. You know, there's a lot of cool producers right now making less and less channels. And I'll be honest, okay, 92 here because it's the vocal and everything. But, you know, I used to do 120 channels and now maybe 90, 70, 50, going lower. But yeah, find your own amount of channels that you think that it needs, and it's not like written in a stone. Yeah, I'm gonna have 50 or 70 or 90 track each track. If it's needed, if the track is empty, if it feels empty, add stuff inside. If the track sounds too full, just remove it. I had tracks with a lot of channels, and then at the later stage I removed, I don't know, 2 bass layers, 2 kick layers, 3 synth layers, FX and stuff like that, and I shaved the track of 20 audio channels. Okay, so let's open this and let's go through my bus configuration. Now, my bus configuration is actually really, it's quite strange. As you see, I have 36 auxiliaries, buses. Some of them are just for FXs and stuff. And even if we go minus 10 channels for those FXs, we would still end up with 25 buses. This is not the right amount of the buses. I'm used to that because instead of going back and changing the channels by sound, I intend to do mixing, a little bit of mixing also on bus channels. That meaning volume control. You know, I could do it. You could do a really cool mastering with 10 buses easily. And I'm almost sure many of you do it that way. It's the right way. Don't worry. For me, I'm used to it like that. I always back few years ago, I always had a kick on a different bus channel and a bass on a different bus channel. Now I combine them together. So I always did like two group channels of hi-hats. For example, I used open hi-hats on an offbeat hi-hat, just on a different channel than all the other shakers in 60 notes, just to have a better balance. So I didn't go back to arrangement, and I was trying to find all the hi-hats. Because why? Now everything's gonna make sense. You see, everything is green and blue. I don't color my audio tracks, which is bad, because then it would be really easier to find those hi-hats. And for me, I could easily and better find it on auxiliary channel, if this makes any sense. So this is why I'm used to it, you know. So I did kick, bass separate, off, like open hi-hat, off hi-hat separate than other hi-hats. Then let's say I always did percussions, completely different percussions. I mean, like if there was like a tribal loop, so many tribal loops, this would be different channel. Then ear candies would be different channel. Vocal would be the lead, and then I would process sometimes like back and harmonies different. So like when you do that, suddenly you can have easily 20 channels. So just to explain why this is as it is, it's easier for me, but maybe it shouldn't be easier for you. Now, as you see, some of stuff, it's heavily processed here, and as you see, some of the things are not. Why? Because if we go back, you could see that I'm already taking care of my channels before, and already, like, when does the actual mixing starts? And yeah, of course you have mixing engineers, but they are in trouble if you chose the right sample. If you didn't choose the right samples, and they need to make everything better what you didn't do good. So going back, my thought process of mixing, it starts already by choosing the right sample. If you're going to choose the right sample, your mixing is going to be much easier. I always teach my students, like, if you're gonna find me a kick which is 3 stars out of 5, you can always kind of go a level up. So like from 3 stars to 4, I can process it for you. The mastering engineer can process it. Audio engineer can process it a little bit. No, mastering engineer not, but the audio engineer, if he has stem processing, it can take it to the next level. But he cannot do miracles. So basically, you choosing the right sounds, the right length, frequencies and stuff, it's already the part of the mixing. Have that in mind. Maybe that's a little bit strange approach for you, but that's how I see. So this is why I choose sound so carefully. I didn't talk in this track how I am prepared for making music. All these kicks that you hear, the hi-hats and stuff, need to be prepared there. It's your weapon, your weapon of choice. So you need to have, I would say, 15 amazing kicks, which you know that they work at least on the beginning, and then you can add layers. But you will know that they're not dirty for the cleaner production, or they're dirty for the dirtier production. But you know that this is the essential part of the mix in your mind. Okay, with this kick, I will not have problems later on. It's gonna be working really nicely with the music, you know, like frequencies and stuff. So again, mix. This is and it is debatable. I know what I'm saying, but have in mind your mix starts with a choosing sounds correctly. If you're gonna choose sounds, quality, good sounds, then the mixing is going to be much easier, and the track is going to sound so much better. So please have that in mind. Audio engineer cannot do miracles. He can polish your shit, or he can polish your diamonds to shine even better. Okay, so I do a lot of processing already by on the sounds on the audio channels. I clean them, I process them as you've seen, or I choose already correct sounds which were already processed before and sounding nice. So there's not much to do. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, in a perfect world, in a perfect world, like if you would choose all the correct sounds already before the mixing, shouldn't be a problem at all. It would be a nice job because the kick would fit, the bass would fit, hi-hats would do their job, synths would do, and it was just like, oh, it would be this nice fairy tale. Obviously, it's not like that. But yeah, if you would choose the proper sounds, which is probably 1 in a billion, that you could combine all the hi-hats, the percussions and stuff to shine and work together, then you would have a perfect sound, which we never do. Anyway, so what do we have here? Okay, so here we have a channel which is processed, and these are the vocals. Again, I'm just gonna go quickly through these vocals because there's a video in my Patreon, on my Patreon, and yeah, check that out. So there's an EQ, a gate, which actually I never use, so that's Elakto's choice. Kick, de-esser. No, it's not de-esser. Yeah, it is. Another de-esser. And multiband, which for some reason I don't use usually in my stuff. But again, it's a call-up, and Elakto sent me this chain of the vocals, and I have to respect that. I actually liked what he did, and I left it. Would I choose this gate? I wouldn't. I would go manually gate stuff. I would use different things, but again, call up. You need to listen to it, and if he's done a good job, why change it?
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here in this fire. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want to.
So anyway, we went through all the bus channels already before, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. So now the mastering chain. You all think like, whoa, and you're gonna already now, I can see you copying, Neutron 5, Saturn 2, all these plugins, and honestly, it would be the best thing not to show you what are the values, because these channels are not about the values, but technique and what actually is used for what. So when you sit down, don't go like, this big producer uses this chain. He uses this chain because he put a thought in that chain. He knows what he needs there. You know, other tracks that he's making, they don't need those plugins. So there's not a magical chain. Yeah, maybe let's say, okay, I will use this stuff in 70% of my track, but I will open them and I will look and I will listen to it. Does this add any value to the track or not? And then if I would need something, you know, like the transient are missing, I'm gonna open a transient designer or any other transient. Or am I lacking a stereo width? Then I need to open that. So don't go put on already super stereo track already another stereo enhancer, because then you're gonna have problem with phases and mono compatibility, all this stuff which I talk in my obviously other videos. So have that in mind. Each track needs a different approach. So let's listen and let's see what I have done here.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here in this fire. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't.
So again, as you see,
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here in this fire. You got me up all night. Your voice inside.
so as you see here, I used Neutron as many times before for that famous gluing. I would for gluing I would usually use an clone of SSL bus compressor, which is very famous and works really well. And if you've seen any of my videos before, I was using it for so many times. And now I would love to get that bus compressor with an actual auto gain, so we could actually hear the difference between the track. And this is why I'm using plugins now which are usually having auto gain, so I can literally hear what they're saying. But the technique is the same, very little of a compression to catch some spikes.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here in this fire. You got.
Okay, the next is Saturn. Why use the Saturn here? Just for a little bit of harmonics and a little bit of dirtiness and a little bit of saturation, because the track is so nice and polished. And me coming from techno, I always love to go a little bit dirty and then cleaner. It's just the way it is. Should you use it? I don't know. If you want to do like a very clean production, no. If you want to have a little bit more dirtier, use it.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here in this fire. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this night to end. You keep me in.
I like it that way. So, for those who follow me and looking at my videos, you already know that I'm using this TDR just for the low cut. Can anyone else do this? Of course, you can do it with a regular EQ, but I like this company. I trust them. Yeah, when you do the low cut, there can be introduction into some dirtiness, some phase issues and stuff like that. Apparently, they do job as it is, good, proper, and this is why I use this plugin. Do you need to buy it? No, you don't. Just do it. Other plugins. I am lazy. I trust them, and that's the only reason why I use this low cut plugin.
I'm stuck here in this fire. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this night to end.
Okay, the next one, Reso. You have many resonance removers. You could do it by the hand. Again, you already know the technique how to do it manually. I showed you in previous videos. But here on the master, I tend to use Reso. Why don't I use Suit here? The people that I trust, the people that I look at their videos, this is apparently better way to do it. It doesn't bring as many artifacts as the Suit does. I didn't do my test myself, so I cannot not guarantee you. But the people that I trust, they said that this is a better option. For some reason, the user interface is different, and I intend to use it less, which is in mastering actually a good thing, because you already polished your sounds before on the bass channel, on the audio channel, and here are the last finish touches. And as you will see, it's not gonna be a lot of resonance removing.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here in this fire. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this night to end. You can.
So yeah, this is the finished touch. As well, you could have problems because resonances can be tricky. They are part of the music. I mean, obviously, in our music, there are less of them because we have synths and stuff like that. And obviously, if you just didn't really use the resonances and the crazy filters and distortions and stuff like that, you're not going to have that much of those resonances as in live music, where recording can introduce a lot of things, unwanted things. So be careful here. Not to remove the actual sounds, the actual frequencies that are in track. Maybe if you do it by the hand, check out in which key the track is, which notes are played, and then like in Q3, Q4 you have a scale, and then you can actually see if you're not removing the notes from each track. But that's on the audio channel, on the audio track. So by removing resonances, don't go too crazy, because you are literally removing the music if you're not too careful.
I'm I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this night to end.
So here you see using me stock plugin. I am stuck to this stock plugin. Are there better plugins? That's debatable. They have more functions there, therefore they might be better. But this plugin does the job just fine. As you see, it's quite heavy. A boost there. That's just the way I like it. I like this sound as it is. Yeah.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget.
Okay, here is this plugin which I used it in this track. I analyzed a curve or some other track, and then I combined that other's track curve to my curve, and I liked it in this case. In most of the time, there's some, I don't know how to explain it, but suddenly my kick and the bass is not stable anymore. It starts to move away in a, I mean, it starts to different from the kick and the bass to the kick to the bass. So there must be some phasing issue or something. There's something in behind which I cannot solve. In this case, it worked, but in most of the cases, it's not. So it can help you a lot to shape your sound, because you're cloning the sound with an app, and then you put it in this plugin, and you can shape it really nicely. But you're not gonna see me using this that much, except here. So with this one, be really careful. Listen to really what does this plugin, what does it do to your your track. Next one, we have a split EQ. So that is actually a really cool plugin. If you don't have it, I mean, it's been on the market for a while now. I'm using it heavy. It's actually an equalizer, transient EQ, split EQ. So it's actually you can put just the transient up, or you can lower the body of the sound, or vice versa. And you can just use, for example, you can use to add transient just on a certain frequencies in style of equalizer, which is also really cool. Remember that plugin that I showed you, the distortion and EQ, distortion with the EQ style? This is a transient designer with an EQ style, and I actually love it a lot. In this case, I just added of 1.7 dB of transients. Let's have a listen.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this night to end. You keep me in.
Yes, and now you see my channel is going into red. And what happened here? This is a mistake per se. It's not a big mistake. It's a small mistake. If you don't all your tracks to be in the red, and then there's already these new techniques where actually putting the channel mastering completely into red, and then they use the converters to put it to a zero. And some of them, they love this sound. It's a new thing. I didn't check it out. I will actually check it out quite soon. But anyway, I see it now. I went back while I already had mastering, and I said, I need more transient, and I added this split EQ later on, and I had limiter and ozone 1, and it didn't put and it didn't, the signal didn't went over 0. And now when I'm talking to you, I realized that, so is it a mistake? Yeah, it is a small one. Would it be better? Would it make a big change? No, it wouldn't, but technically this is a mistake. Anyway, a split EQ, I added transient, and I find that it sounds much better. Okay, so here.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice.
So here we have maximizer, which I use quite a lot lately. I don't use clippers anymore, as you see. as often. Not that I don't use them at all. Like sometimes I would need a clipper to get an extra level, maybe a few dBs, and I'll go back and use a clipper. In this case, I didn't use it because I like the sound of this maximizer.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this not to end. You keep me hanging.
So what I've done, a little bit of the gain, 6.6 dBs, upward compression, which is also questionable. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't. Here, I did enjoy the upward compression. On a lot of other stuff, I wouldn't use it. I actually love the soft clipper here, and some transient emphasis. So in most of the cases, I use just the gain and a soft clip, usually on medium. Now it's a low. Again, it depends of a track. I listen to it. Depends of how hot the signal is and all this stuff. Then the plugins are reacting differently. Why do I like this soft clipper? I don't have a knowledge of what kind of clipper is behind of this, but combination with this gain and this clipper, it's absolutely amazing. You can drive sound inside heavily with the gain, and then you can clip it. Like you have three different options, and you just have to try it. It's here it's quite heavy on 52, but I like it that way here. Would I use in other tracks? Sometimes I would use it on medium and it would be 50. It depends of again, and the sound that this ozone maximizer introduced it. I love it. Will I use this for years? Probably I will use it for a while now. But is there a plugin around the corner that will make these things even better? Maybe even ozone will make it better. Who knows? But right now, this is the plugin that I go to on the mastering, and I actually love it. I will actually show you in another video where I'm gonna talk about other track where I actually used it in a pumping effect, where I on purpose used it too much. So you will see I got this pumping effect heavy. You can already hear it here a little bit, but that is on purpose. So basically, if you introduce something that is not advised, but in terms of sound design and let's say pumping of the sound, that you want it to have to be that way, then do it. But you need to have your ears ready to recognize if it is worse or better. Okay. Anyway, that and anyway, here is already loud. I should actually just bounce it, but I added a little bit of limiter at the end.
Can't seem to leave behind. I'm stuck here and it's Friday. You got me up all night. Your voice inside my head, like a song I can't forget. Don't want this.
Yeah, it's slightly louder than -5 loops. That means it's quite loud. And loudness war, it's not over. I'm very sorry, it's not over. Maybe sound engineers, sound technicians, audio engineers actually are obviously going against the loudness, and I do feel them. But let me tell you something. When I'm trying to master my tracks and I go, let's say, -7 loops, I already get calls from my friends like, why did you master it so low? So for DJs, we DJs are a peculiar breed. Tracks needs to punch when you hear them. Usually we listen to them one against each other. That means like when we get promos, we listen 1 second, third one, you go to Beatport and you listen and then compare to the loudness and the sound to each other. And basically, if you are lower in volume, you are most likely not gonna sell the track. Or let's say differently, it's gonna be easier to see, easier to sell a track if your track is gonna be louder than others. And again, I can see this always, I can hear this always talking to DJs. So the louder is still the better. There is a certain percentage of people who play music and understand that, you know, there should be some dynamics to it. So if we can talk about dynamics when you go to -7 LUFS, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we can. But definitely there is more dynamics between -7 and -5 LUFS. That's undoubtable. So what I would do is bounce 3 masters. I know, yeah. So first master, do it for the DJs because they're gonna play in a club. So try to kind of do a mono compatible thingy. That means do the mono below 200, 150, 300. There's a different different frequency when you speak about it to different sound engineers. That has a lot to do as well because the old school masters were all cut 300 or a little bit lower because of the vinyl. Basically, the needle skipped if you had a stereo information like really high on high tones and on a low frequencies as well. That's being said in really general. So there's still this myth that the clubs are having shitty sound systems. So basically, if you want to have some stereo information, let's say, I don't know, 200 hertz, more that the sound systems are tuned mono. So apparently, a lot of the tracks can a lot of your stereo information of the track can disappear, and that can be perceived as that literally some of the track is missing. So what I would do, go loud and mono compatible for DJs just in case. Then you can do less loud for streaming platforms, and you can go stereo even in the frequencies where it shouldn't be stereo, if that's part of the sound engineering. If you want that's the sound of the track, because those tracks will be listened in a car, headphones, good stereo systems, and those stereo systems might actually play those frequencies and stereo image. And another thing is to go to do master for vinyl, where it's always was always the rule that low frequencies, like really sub basses, and high frequencies, really high frequencies, shouldn't be that aggressive, and stereo, because the groove, what it does is goes from left to the right, and if there is too much stereo information, it might jump. It actually happened to me years ago that was exactly, there was a stereo bass, and the needle was jumping, and luckily we got this is why I have test pressings, you know. Older generation of DJs will actually, maybe they didn't know why do we get test press, is exactly because of that, to check the sound. And more important is that actually the needle stays in the groove and it plays from the beginning correctly. So I said this about masters very in general. You know, we could go much more in details and talk about the opinions. It's not carved in stone, but this is what I would suggest. Anyway, this was UMEK and Elakto. On My Mind, the track that we are happy with. Can't wait to be out on 1605. Hope you like this video, and speak soon. Ciao.